Our final guest, a great Chicago actor, and I've seen this on Twitter. It's kind of annoying. You see speaking of hot takes, these a-holes who are like, "Can you name one person? Can you name one person who has COVID?" No, you can't. It's a government conspiracy or whatever where they go after that. And I think in my head about people that I know and people that we love and cherish in our families and others who have had it. And I know all of Chicago knows Mitchell Fain, who told his story on Facebook, and the media picked it up about his experience with COVID. And he's a great actor, Midnight Circus. He's also Sandland Diaries. He plays in that every year. And he's also a former Second City guy who also worked with TJ Shanoff. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mitchell Fain to the panel.
There you go.
I love a finish. Give me a button. Give me a button anytime, TJ.
I know. I'll always give you a button, Mitchell. I know what you need.
Thank you. I'm an old show queen. That's what I like.
Mitchell, how are you? First of all, you had COVID-19. You tested positive. You went through the whole experience.
I did.
You explained the whole experience to us. How was it? Tell us, how was it? How was it?
It literally feels like someone comes up behind you and hits you with a frying pan on the back of your head.
Ugh.
So it feels like you're in Throw Mama from the train.
Exactly. It's just I've never experienced fatigue like that. I was delirious. While I was delirious, I found out that I made many phone calls, had many conversations, and ordered several things online that I have zero memory of.
So like when you're on an edible.
Which I am now, so thank you.
Us too!
So for that experience, for you to come forward, tell that story, and I know a lot of media picked it up and talked to it. Well, how was that experience for you to recount the experience, what happened to you?
I'll tell you what, it was so scary. I got it before anybody else I knew got it, right? Same. So like, I knew that the smart thing to do was to stay home, isolate, be by myself. I was grateful to have a place by myself to be. But there were so many questions I couldn't answer. How high a fever is too high a fever? How badly are you short of breath that it's time to go to the hospital? Like, what can I do to relieve the symptoms? All these questions. And I have a great doctor and we're in contact, but I don't have her like on my speed dial. Who says speed dial? I'm so old. And so I actually was really eager to share once I felt better, because I'm sure that there are other people who were stuck in that same situation. It's like, do I go to the hospital yet? I don't know. Or do I like die here out of pride or something? That was why I shared.
You hear so many people now trying to politicize this and people who have life or around them saying, you know what, we should just open up the country and everybody should get sick and we should have herd immunity because that's the only way we're going to get through this. When you hear that and you engage with that in social media, what's your response to it?
To be honest with you, I have had to, and this sort of ties into what you guys were talking about before about what you're listening to. I've had to sort of really remove myself from getting involved in any of those conversations. It enrages me. It's so full of lies. I have a very, very, very good friend who's a young man. He's a doctor, emergency room doctor in the South Bronx. So I get updates from him on the daily about what is really going on and how serious this thing still is. So I have to disengage from that stuff. So mostly I've been listening to like obscure soul singers from the 70s. That's what I've been listening to.
I saw you post that today.
I can't watch Ozark. I'm sure it's great. I don't want to watch Unorthodox or whatever that's called. They all seem they're too cynical. There's too much pain. I only want to dance to Denise Williams in my underwear. That's it.
Oh, Roberta
right?
Flack. Sure.
Roberta Flack, right? Also, I want to say this to TJ. You know that I now have I'm friends with one of the original cast members of Grease 2. We have an in.
Wow. Who? Is it Lorna Luft?
No, but God forbid, please. Is somebody watching Lorna? Is she okay? The guy who played Demucci and I went to the same college.
Wow.
Let's do it for our country.
Yeah, that's like the 11 o'clock number. It's like it's that show's I've never been in love before.
Thank you. He's my new BFF. He's the coolest.
It's awesome.
You guys work together? Did TJ was saying before we started that you guys work together on a ship, on the cruise ship?
We did. So, I mean, as you can imagine with Mr. Shanoff, so many bits, I'm surprised the show went up. So
I don't think the show did go up when all was said
No,
and
I
done.
think it did. I think you might be right. Did it actually go on? It was a blast, man. It was a
A lot of
blast.
fun. I love working with you.
I love working with you too. We make each other. Well, we're two old Jews. I mean, what are you gonna do? Wait, are we 4 old Jews? What's happening? Is that what's going on?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
more
40,
or less.
I'm 46. I mean, come on.
Half Irish German over here, but yes.
Yeah,
It's all right. Close enough.
All right, so for you, I always like to ask this because I know you to be a pretty social guy. Like you've got a lot of people around you. If you're following you on social media, if you're any party that you're going to that's a party record, you walk in the door, Mitchell's by the door. So, it's okay. So how is this affecting you? How does this affect the idea of staying at home and what you went through and everything? To be such a social person, to be an extrovert, to have to be by yourself.
You know what? I'm one of those extroverts who loves to be by myself. Like I recharge alone. So I'm particularly well adapted to being alone, but usually it's after exhausting myself by socializing. So I'm doing a lot of FaceTime, a lot of Snapchat, and I'm doing this thing where I call it chair talk, where people just text me. I don't invite anybody. They just text me. I have a huge backyard, and they text me and they say, I'm coming over. So then I put a chair 10 feet away from where my chair is. They come in my backyard and we chat.
Chair chat.
Yeah,
Clint
and
Eastwood-
all you have to do,
Didn't Clint Eastwood do that a couple years ago, but with nobody sitting in the chair? Do you remember that?
exactly. I stole it from Clint. I saw it from Clint, but it's been really nice because I don't, like I said, I've invited anyone who knows about it to just text me and say I'm 5 minutes away, and I put out a chair and we have a conversation. It's been
That's great. I'll take you up on that. That's awesome. Mitchell, how are you feeling? And when it's all said and done now, it's been a couple of weeks. Are you 100%?
I am 100%. The fatigue lasted a good 2 weeks after the rest of the symptoms went away, but I feel really strong. This is a terrible joke, and I know that I'm going to go to comedy hell for it, but I've lost the COVID-19 that everyone else seems to be gaining because I was, so I feel, thank you. So I feel slim. I feel young and sexy. I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. Mitchell Fain, great Chicago actor and performer, and we look forward to seeing you back on stage sometime soon. Mitchell, good to hear that you're well, and thanks for being our guest today. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. So good to see all of you.
Oh,
Be
great.
well, Mitchell. Let's do it for our country. Our country wants us to. Grease too, ladies and gentlemen.